The Toronto Express bus network is one of the best things that the TTC does in terms of its buses, but the system is not without its imperfections. So, that's the topic of today's video is about, going over the Express bus network in Toronto, what it does well, and what it really needs to work on. So, to start, what is the Express bus network? The TTC Express bus network is a system of buses following a 900 numbering system that often reflect a normal route. For example, Route 53 Steeles East and 953 Steeles East Express are identical except that the Express bus makes less stops. Express buses will stop at exclusively major stops, which are typically transfer points, subway stations, GO stations, schools, and other points of interests. However, not all express buses follow their non-express variants. For a couple of examples, Route 905 Eglinton East Express is not a variant of Route 34 Eglinton East, and Route 939 Finch Express deviates from 39 Finch. So now that the basics are out of the way, let's talk about why the express bus network is great to have and what it does well. Firstly, frequency. Express buses will almost always arrive every 10 minutes, with some buses like Route 954 coming even sooner. I know it's pretty obvious, but the express buses simply make traveling long distances much faster and more convenient. For example, if I wanted to go from Finch Station to Finch and McCowan, it would take 40 minutes on the 939 to go 13 kilometers. But if I wanted to go that same distance on that same road, just on a regular 39 instead, it would take 48 minutes. So on average, it takes 80% of the time to go the same distance on an express bus as a regular bus. The next thing the express network does well is connectivity. Taking a look at our map here, we can see that service is very much oriented around the subway network. The 968 goes from Steeles to Warden, the 939 goes from Scarborough Centre to Finch Station, the 925 goes from Steeles to Pape Station via Don Mills Station. This is good for three main reasons. One, it means you're able to get off an express bus, you're not in the middle of nowhere, you're on an established rapid transit hub where you can connect to either the subway or many local transit routes. Two, it means that connecting long distances is faster as you can step off the subway and less than 10 minutes later step onto an express bus to get your final destination. And three, similar to Mississauga's express buses, it allows for seamless connections from the outer rings of the city to the inside of the city via the subway. Lastly, this one's a little redundant, but a lot of express buses have articulated buses for extra capacity, like seen on the 905, 953, 939, etc. So now that I've sung the express network's praises, it's time I talk about where the system could use some serious help. To start, take a look at this giant gaping hole where there is just no express service at all. Lawrence Avenue between Yonge and Kennedy, all of Eglinton Avenue just has no express service, period. St. Clair Avenue and O'Connor Drive have none, which could be very helpful linking these streets to the subway, and neither Bayview or Leslie have express buses. In general, there are a lot of streets that should have express, but don't, like on Kennedy Road, Midland Avenue, McCowan Road, and Bathurst Street. There's also just straight up no express buses south of Lawrence Avenue for a good majority of the street, which is odd. Omitting these critical streets from the express network just makes zero sense and is one of the most obvious, glaring flaws in the system. Next, the express network has a terrible service reliability problem. Now, I did say the network has a great frequency, which is true, but you can't have great frequency when the buses aren't running. For whatever reason, most express buses like the 968, 954, 945, and 953 only run on weekdays, rush hour only. I understand this is likely because the express network is tailored towards 9 to 5 commuters, but limiting service to these hours only is just that, limiting. I see no good reason why we can't have express service during the off-peak, and is really just another example of how transit in Toronto is good, but could be much better. But, despite all the complaining I just did, of course the express network is great to have. It makes long crosstown trips much faster and easier, and I would much rather have it than not. So, that wraps up my analysis of the TTC Express Bus system. I hope you learned something new about the Express Bus system, and that you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.